Never mind.
Okay. Is it recording? Yes. Okay. So yeah, so you're gonna use your tablet. So those have pretty good, I mean, obviously, I don't know what, it's an iPad?
It's a Microsoft Surface.
Okay, so a relatively new then. Those have good cameras.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Cool. So, I mean, they do pretty well in low light. I would not necessarily recommend lighting for something that is dark.
Yeah, I was just like, how am I gonna get this on my shitty camera without it being nothing? Like,
Yeah, no, I mean, I think on your tablet it should be okay.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you just let in like a smidge of light, like a little bit of natural light from a window or something,
Yeah.
that should work out.
Yeah, I think Vivian might have left her camera too, but I don't know how to use it. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
could fuck around with it though.
do what?
I could fuck around with it though and see if I can figure it out.
Yeah. What kind of camera is it?
Let me go see.
In the meantime, I will pull up. Oh, I have the video. Good. Oops, cancel. Save. Did you probably I sent out this link to this video pretty late. So did anybody have a chance to take a look at the video?
No, I didn't do anything.
So we can watch it in a second when I don't know.
There's a GoPro and there's also a Canon of some sort.
Okay.
Using Rebel.
If you wanna, you can like take a picture of it or like find the model number on it. If you want to mess with it, and I can maybe send you some videos. It's a Canon, you said?
Yeah.
If it's a Canon, I would say like try to look up like a Phil Bloom video. He's pretty good at like good beginner videos for like Canon products. He's kind of one of like, depending on what era, but if it's like I think, did Vivian tell me she has like she might have the same camera that I have, like a 5D. And so yeah, like Philip Bloom has some decent like beginners videos of like how to just turn it on and point it at stuff.
Yeah, cool.
So yes, that's great. Okay, so I was gonna. You watched the video though, right?
What?
The
No, what video?
The cut of this project.
I didn't do it.
Do what?
Oh.
When did you send it?
I sent it at like 6:30. I sent it earlier to Casey because Casey's been kind of working on this for a while. It was like a group project that we started maybe a year and a half ago, maybe longer ago. And then everybody else, it definitely evolved. And then a lot of the people who were working on it kind of floated away. They're still around, but they're not really working on it. So, you know, it's just been through a lot of iterations, but Casey is, you know, a part of it for a while. So I sent it to them first. And we've been kind of like talking about filling in the gaps of the I'm sorry, I think I'm starting to get, not to blame it on hormones, but I think I'm starting to get that pregnancy brain. So yeah, just, you'll see, we'll just watch it and then we can kind of Actually, Aspen, no, I don't think you were here. Like, I don't think you were around during this time period where we were working on this.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, okay, well, I guess I'll explain kind of the genesis of the project. There was like a renovation show that came in and like kind of, they're the ones that changed the family room. And then once that video came out, some youth were like, hey, like they do kind of like a simplistic approach to like what it's like to be a homeless youth. And so there was like kind of a move to be like, we should tell our story. And there was like a lot of,
I think I remember that part, but I think I stopped going afterwards.
yeah, I think it was like, maybe you were there kind of like at the beginning of that. And then it was like, okay, everybody was going to kind of work on their own projects. And then we were going to kind of put them all together in one big long thing. And then kind of Casey started independently working on like their little section of their experience. And that's kind of the bit that has carried on. And, but it's like, so I think that's enough background to just watch it. And then we can talk about kind of like moving forward and how we're going to move forward with the project. Okay, I have to share my screen. This. Share. Okay.
Ooh.
So it is tentatively titled TAY or Transitional Aged Youth. Tentatively titled. All right. Ta-da.
I've been finding things like this difficult, and like trying to take selfies and stuff lately because I've been remembering like how my mom would yell at me for focusing on myself too much, and now I'm like, oh, this feels dirty. I can't read my own writing out loud. What? All right. Writing is difficult. Structured reflection, how do you attain it? I guess structure in general is just something that's hard to grasp or create when it's something you've never truly known. Keep me like that. Okay. I'll start over. Is it still rolling? Yeah. Okay. Writing is difficult. Structured reflection, how do you attain it? I guess structure in general is just something that's hard to really grasp or create when it's something you've never truly known. Writing it down feels like so much pressure. How is my hand supposed to keep up with my mind? Jump in. Even if you keep saying the same things over and over, just keep paddling until you find rhythm. Structure. Allowing yourself to have fun or feel joy or do anything nice when you're miserable and homeless is not easy. Work, the only thing that I can let matter. That's how it feels. Work programs, save money, jump through hoops, get out of these systems, stay off the streets. What can you even think about outside of all of that? You're not supposed to be comfortable or have fun if you're homeless. Constant stress and anxiety is what it feels like to be living in shelters and housing programs. A weight that never leaves. Gravity is stronger. Will I ever get out? I felt guilty whenever I caught myself having fun. How could I be allowed joy if I hadn't gotten out of this yet? Other people have full control over every part of your life. You have to wait for a staff member or whoever to do literally anything. There's no control, and it's so stressful. And it's like, even if you know you're in good standing and that you're not going to get kicked out, it's still like, what if I get framed for something? What if I fuck up? What if I make a bad decision? It's like, I don't know where it's going to be. I don't know where I'm going to be. My first time swimming in the ocean, my first time surfing, my first time being completely surrounded by the ocean, I was terrified of the idea. Ocean is so big and full of scary things, big and dark. A sad kid from a landlocked state. I thought every moment I would feel fear. Fear of the dark, the lack of air, the knowledge of life in those depths, and the lack of control. How could I possibly not feel scared? I'm always scared. Scared of people, scared of failure, rejection, assault, completely losing control. But I just become part of the rhythm of the water. It all goes away. Instead of being scared, I was free. So transitioning into like a functional adult, nobody tells you how hard it'll be to move emotionally and socially from being homeless. It holds hands with my general constant existential crisis and the gender stuff, and I'm also like aging, and I don't know, it all mushes into one issue. My confidence is near 0% and figuring out how to truly begin working towards achieving creative endeavors and a career that I like, and maybe moving away from dead-end service jobs and just kind of accepting that I have worth. And like that's more than just being homeless, but being homeless, it just kind of pushes into you that like you're not worth as much as everybody else, and you never will be, no matter how hard you work. So it's like, I have an apartment now, like I've held this job for 2 years, I've done all of this, but it's like, it's still not enough. I'm not doing enough, right? Like I'm not happy, I'm not super financially well off, I'm not creating the things I want to create. I'm super unsure, and it's wild trying to socialize with people outside of shelters after just being homeless for so long and just knowing homeless people. And nobody tells you how hard it is to change your own perspective of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Homeless. Okay, I think I'm done.
Okay, so that's kind of where it's at right now. So basically, the sequence is, obviously you can see there's just text where there would be images. Some of those images we have, like, and also that's part of it too, is it's sort of an open-ended collaboration with other people who can contribute images to this sequence. So Phil, who's doing the writing and then like doing this in the piece, he filmed an image of like soda spilling, because and a lot of the text that was in here, I had kind of brainstormed with, I think it was Zen and Phil and I forget who else, maybe there's another youth named Daniel, who I played just the audio for. And we started kind of like brainstorming ideas of like what kind of imagery to put on top. So that's where some of those ideas came from. Some of them are mine. But like at this point, nothing's really like permanent. They're all just kind of ideas. So yeah, I guess I just wanted to say that there's an image of soda spilling that's mentioned in the title. We had kind of, and then Casey and I had been talking about like assigning them images to work on, like one a week. And so I had assigned Casey the image of like looking around, like kind of in that section that they're talking about, like always being afraid and never feeling like you'd be able to be free, like something that would kind of like be good imagery for that. So that was kind of the last thing that's what I was talking with Casey about before we watched this. And then we do have surf camp footage that I can start to intercut here. And then I was going to volunteer to film the child hands playing, since I have accidentally quarantining with a child, and I have a camera.
Yeah.
I figure if that's like you know, for like the idea of like not really being able to like create structure, like, you know, like tiny hands kind of fumbling. But yeah, like I said, I'm kind of, this is a project that is, you know, we're kind of just welcoming everybody's ideas into the imagery and that aspect of it. So does any, like, did anything jump out to anybody as far as like a piece that maybe you would like to contribute, or that you thought might be visually interesting?
I think for the dark scene, like if the camera can shoot raw, you can just shoot the outside before like the sunset, like maybe 20-30 minutes before the sunset, when you still have some kind of light, right? And then go to settings when you edit the video and go down on exposure. Then you're still gonna have some good quality, but it's gonna look like it's dark or almost night, right?
Well, that's a great idea.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, Aspen, I mean, do you want to shoot anything for this?
I think I'm good.
You're like, I'm good, because it would be great to have you shoot something for this.
Well, maybe because I shared the music video with you from the drive. I don't know if you got it.
Oh, yes, I did, and I did not download it yet, but thank you for reminding me.
So I don't know if that's gonna be helpful, but you can probably use some shots from there.
Oh, okay. I'll download this now.
You made the music video? Sorry, I missed some of it.
Yeah, I shot it.
Oh, was it that thing that you was working on a while ago?
Yeah,
You said you're working on.
that actually might be a different project. I do not remember what I was working there on back then.
Okay. All right, so I'm downloading that now. So we can take a look at that. And yeah, Aisha, is there kind of anything, I mean, you have a phone, right? Do you have access to any equipment, or would you be interested in like, even, you know, like, it would be great, I think, in that last section where it's like, you know, talking about like, what am I supposed to do? You know, I'm not, you know, trying to think. It's kind of basically about like, you're just getting out, you know, you're just getting kind of on your feet and getting financially stable, but you're not really quite there. And kind of that feeling of just being like, I mean, transitioning, right? Out from a place like Covenant House or a place like, you know, whatever. I mean, obviously Casey has other transitioning things, but I think, you know, that time period in everyone's life, you know, everybody's dealing with a lot, and it's a big time of change and kind of uncertainty and, you know, feeling like, oh shit. So, but I think, you know, potentially a good montage of there could be like people getting ready for work and like kind of going out into the world. Obviously people are doing that right now. But, you know, obviously that's like, you know, your normal everyday life. And now that you kind of like, maybe you have a little extra time to just record a sequence of yourself like that, I think that could be kind of cool at that ending part.
Wait, you're still trying to add a whole bunch to it, right? Like you're trying to get everybody in or something? Or?
Yeah. So even if you could like just record yourself on your phone, and then basically we would go, and so that's kind of like, you know, there's, I guess, two parts to this like lesson today. It's like, you know, looking over this, this particular piece, looking at ways that we could collaborate together, even when we're not physically together. So, you know, I think that's definitely something that a lot of people are doing, even in advertisement these days. Like people are harvesting, you know, like Zoom footage and user submitted content. You know, that's one way that production is getting around various, you know, group measures. You know, just having people submit their own things and you know, through clever editing, like creating pieces. You know, it's interesting to see all of the solutions that are happening. I mean, because obviously content is still coming out, you know, especially like with, you see a lot of like the late shows and stuff like that, just having like their hosts at home. So, you know, like there is stuff happening, some like big stuff on a small scale. But also I think small stuff in a way has, you know, an opportunity to be bigger than it is, you know, would normally maybe be. And I think it's an opportunity for people to like think about interesting collaborations that are, yeah, just apart, you know? So let me open up the, and then I kind of did want to transition from that into talking about like, you know, this is a time as well, like, I mean, remote work may take a bigger piece of work in general in the near future. So I kind of wanted to just put that on people's minds that like working and going to class or like contributing to projects like this are potentially things that you could include in like job searches or in resumes. Because, you know, the fact that you can do Zoom or like collaborate using Google Drive, you know, those types of skills are going to be skills that are useful and sought after more and more in the job market, you know, in certain segments of work. And so, you know, like that could be something to start thinking about in terms of like, you know, just thinking about employment.
The skills are probably going to be must-have after this.
Do what?
I mean, the skills are going to be probably must-have after all this.
The what?
This type of skills.
What do you mean?
You mean like people, like everyone are going to have them?
Well, they're going to be like must-have.
Oh, yes.
Skills. Yeah.
Yeah. No, totally. Exactly. So, I mean, that's just something I kind of wanted to put on everybody's radar. That's like, you know, yeah, to not, I mean, sometimes like stuff like that can be like intimidating, I guess, where it's like, oh, well, now I have to have this whole new set of skills. And it's like, well, you know, you're building them now, you know, and don't discount like the work that you're doing that's unpaid work, like, you know, or like creative work or volunteer work, like all of that is useful jobs, you know, useful skill building and totally applicable to like the things, you know, to applying for paid work. You know, don't limit yourself, you know, to thinking like, oh, well, I can only put paid work on a resume. It's like, you know, if you're doing creative job work, that's and that's why maybe like I would encourage you to like use your creative work during this time to like, as you know, as much as you can. Like I know it's overwhelming and you know, there is talk of like, oh, well, now this is the perfect time to like write your script or do your novel. And it's like, oh, hey, I might just be like really depressed right now. And like, that's totally
saying do right or do, are you saying to write or not? Are you saying to write? Are you giving advice to write, or what are you saying?
I'm saying to write or be creative as much as you have the capacity for. Like, don't feel pressured to do, like, that you need to do all of the things right now. It's like, you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and like staying healthy, like mentally and all that, and taking care of yourself. And then from that place, as much as you can, moving forward, like.
Yeah, because I've been trying to, like writing every day, whatever comes to my mind, whatever I can, because why not the perfect time, when you can't do anything else,
Yeah.
Which is now.
And like, if you're motivated and, having fun and it's like, like giving you life to write right now, then that's perfect. That's great. But also, like, so there's like a balance, right? Where there's a flip side of like, you want to take time and give yourself space to feel whatever feelings that you're feeling and, self-care and all that stuff. But also, like, even if it's some small thing, some small piece of something, like if that's all you can manage to do for the week, then, set a goal and like try to meet it. You know what I mean? So it's like that you're not just totally, everything just shuts down during this time. And I think, it's, I think something that like everyone is feeling to some degree or another right now. It's like, oh my God.
I think it's a great time to kind of think about remote work, like what kind of skills or what kind of training you can get to, attain a new set of skills or possible employment in a different industry, in case, because I feel like some industries are really going to go down right now. Yeah, it's like, to me, it's not clear how all the restaurants, small restaurants.
Like what industry?
I'm sorry?
Like what industry do you think?
I feel like IT industry is gonna boom right now. I mean,
like you said, boom.
Yeah.
You said like go up, like their business is gonna be good.
Yeah, definitely. Like people, like IT people are gonna be like, needed like crazy.
And that's absolutely.
People are gonna be going out like crazy once we're like able to go outside. Everybody's gonna be going outside, and people are gonna be, celebrating maybe, or so.
Well, it's not clear.
I don't think it's gonna be like that.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's gonna take a while to recover. And then
but
judging by this experience.
Right now, like in other states, like how people are, even now I heard that like there were people out on the beach when they're still doing the lockdown. There's people going to the beach and just hanging out and stuff, and like in Georgia they're open right now. Is that the only state that's open? Is Georgia?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, I think there's a couple others, but even then, it's like they're still having like, they're supposed to be doing social distancing protocols, and I think a lot of places are, and like I think it's not exactly what's happening when you're saying like the state is open. Like some people are, and some people are choosing to violate stay at home or not run their businesses, so they're actually doing something illegal. Not in Georgia, but like a lot of businesses even in Georgia are still choosing to stay closed because they're like, hey, there's like a real public health threat happening, which is true.
I don't know. I don't want to put too much into it because, like you hear a lot. I don't even know, there could be rumors or conspiracy theories, but I hear like a lot of things might be changing like in so many ways that, we've never heard of.
Yeah,
I
think that's what, I think both Aspen and I are kind of trying to say, where it's like, there's going to be a lot of, like, I think that's absolutely correct. Like, there's going to be a lot of work in remote IT work because I don't think immediately people are going to be even if stay at home is lifted, there's going to be a lot of offices that remain working remotely. Like I know, like I said, I know that at least HBO is planning to be out of their office and through June. And I don't think that's changing no matter what happens with stay at home. You know, a lot of people that are what?
What did you say? You said HBO is planning on being at home through June?
Yeah, they haven't been in the office since March.
And they said that they're going to be.
They're all working remotely from home. I mean, I don't know about all, but a large majority, I mean, of the people who are working in offices are just working at home. And I mean, I know a lot of people who are, you know, work as producers for various types of companies, or, you know, in video game or in advertisement. And like a lot of those people are still working from home. So like a lot of industries, like, I mean, that's starting to like slow down and dry up because, you know, that's kind of like the tail end of that production pipeline, right? So as things are kind of coming through the pipeline, those people who are kind of at the end of the pipeline have kind of been able to sustain their work much longer.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are not going back to work even after all this gonna end. It's like the companies now realize that they don't need that many people.
That's probably gonna happen. I mean, and I think I mentioned on the call last week that I had been talking to like a career counselor about like pandemic, like looking for work in a pandemic and that kind of stuff. And she had basically been talking to some economists, and, you know, it's like her job to stay on top of employment trends and that kind of thing. And
Right.
she's basically saying, like, you know, the downturn, and like you're saying, Aspen, like the sectors that may not come back as strong, or, you know, may not, are definitely going to be last to come back, are going to be things like hospitality, you know, restaurants, and the arts. Like those things are going to be.
Well, I don't think arts are gonna do bad. I mean, well, look at the film industry. Like right now, all of those people are basically watching TV and Netflix all day long. Like I don't think the film industry itself is gonna suffer, or at least a lot. But like looking at the restaurants, now that they see that they can mainly focus on takeouts and delivery, like the restaurants already spending a lot of money on the waitresses and employees. So by only doing takeouts, they're gonna, you know, get rid of lots of costs, right? Especially after there was so much money right now. You know, so I feel like a lot of restaurants are either going to close down or cut their employees, or just going to do deliveries and takeouts only. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of industries are going to change, but that on the negative side. And then, but I was going to say, like you said, IT is experiencing a lot of growth because everybody who is working from home is needing technical support. So, because things aren't working. And another industry actually that's experiencing growth is education. And that's education in like kind of all levels of education. So it's like, you know, you're talking about from kindergarten all the way up till college, and then kind of anything that can be taught online. Because basically everything is being taught online now, you know, even if it's something physical, you know, like think gym classes. Or like if you're somebody who can consult with somebody who like has some kind of business. Like I've even seen things like manicures, like Zoom manicures, you know, where they'll like, so obviously the person's not there like telling you what to do or, you know, doing your nails, but they're like on a Zoom call with you and you have all the tools and they're like, you know, walking you through the process. So like, you know, if you're somebody who can like help someone consult on how do I like transition my very physical business into the online realm, like that's something that's potentially, and then obviously, yeah, like grocery delivery, all of those things that are essential.
Yeah, new technologies probably too.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's, I'm going to share my screen again just to kind of go over, and I sent this to you guys. This is in that lesson plan link that I sent. So this has, you know, the link and the password to the video that we watched. And then we have a Google Drive folder for anyone who's gonna be contributing footage to the project. And then, and this is to go to what Aspen was kind of talking about as well. It's like, just kind of like thinking about developing remote work skills. It's like, I think this will change the way people approach work. And like, I know that a lot of people and businesses, I mean, there have been studies about how like remote working is actually much more efficient. And it makes people kind of in general happier about because they're not commuting, you know, and people.
And it also cut a lot of like money because you don't have to have
physical space.
Office. Yeah.
You don't have to upkeep an office and
right.
pay for everyone's coffee at the coffee machine, and you know you have less office space to clean. You have less to, you know, cool with your air conditioner. It's just like it's actually more efficient to run a smaller office.
Right.
You know, and maybe there's like.
So this is gonna be like, do you seriously think this is gonna be something long term, like that people aren't gonna, you know, eventually come back and be like, we can work in the same room? Like,
It's gonna take a couple
wasn't it? Well,
I mean, people will,
yeah,
but I think culturally, I think it will be something that's shifting. Like I know a lot of people that I know who are working from home, and like still kind of have their job. They're like, especially in LA, like your commute is a huge thing. Like I've had a couple friends, like, oh my God, I don't want to go back. I want to stay home because I have 4 extra hours in my life.
Oh wow.
Because I'm not commuting.
Right.
You know? So it's just something to kind of think about of like, I think it is a point of, you know, transition. And it's not that we're not going to be able to come back together and like work again. I mean, I think there's going to be modifications to office life, and to all kinds of, you know, life, like even like hospitality work or your restaurant work, all that stuff is gonna, you know, there'll be different protocols. Like
even looking at the like grocery stores, like in Sweden, you don't even have regular cashiers. You just like when you go inside the store, you just take the like small scanner, the card, and as you go through the shop, you just put the things in your cart and you scan it.
mm-hmm.
Time, and then you go to the you know, the self checkout line, and you just put the credit card, and that's it.
Yep. Yeah, so all kinds of stuff. But so I did include a couple like links to you know, just so you yeah, so like remote work may be more normalized, and like you guys are building those skills right now. You know, and there's things that you can do to expand those skills, you know, obviously YouTube forever. But also, and this is just a resource that I like to mention often. For those of you who don't know this, do you guys know about lynda.com? It's like a software and kind of like skills building website.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
So it's Lynda, LYNDA.com. So, you know, you can learn everything from like editing to, you know, Python, like data management, even basic stuff like Word or Excel. But, you know, I looked up and they have like a couple remote work skills classes and courses, but it's normally like $50 a month or something like that. But if you have like a LA library card, LA city or county library card, you can access it for free. So I just put a little link here to an article that kind of walks you through that. And then a link to just one of the remote work skills courses on Lynda. And then, you know, at least 2 of the kind of like remote applications that you guys have been using just with in this class are like Zoom and Google Drive. And those are great like remote collaboration tools. So, you know, you are familiar with things. And then, you know, I just made this little list of kind of like soft skills that are pertinent to online work. So, you know, like having good communication, flexibility, coordination, like integrity, because you're like self-managing yourself often. You know, you need to be able to listen in sometimes challenging and distracting situations, like depending on what your home environment might be. So you need to be super organized and strategic and detail oriented. So those are all things that you can kind of like highlight, you know, as you kind of like develop those skills. So that's kind of, that was my spiel for today. I am excited to keep going on this little project. I think it's like pretty cool. And then, oh, one thing too, and this is another thing that I was thinking about when I was watching it this time. You know, we can also take clips from like places like YouTube and things like that. So Casey, if you like think of something, or you know, and that kind of stuff would be protected by what do you call fair use. So like one of the rules of fair use is that you're like using your clips to be to make a commentary on something else. So since this project is like your words and thoughts on your particular personal experience, you know, anything that you're using out of context of a film, as long as it's, you know, not, is it's only illustrating what you're saying, is completely, I would feel completely comfortable under fair use, kind of inserting. So if you kind of wanted to like do a little bit more of like intercutting between like found footage and footage that we produce and acquire ourselves, I think that's like a really good strategy for this piece as well.
Oh yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah, so like that's another thing to think about too. So like I guess as this week, as you like film that one clip that we kind of like pinpointed for you, like you can also totally look on YouTube and you can just either make like a playlist or something and just save videos to the playlist, and you can you know, maybe send me the link to the playlist, or you can just straight send me the links to the videos or something, and then we can talk about like, you know, what are the segments of the clips that you would want to kind of like cut in. And that's another option.
You can also reach out to people on social media, so like Facebook, filmmakers groups or something like that, because no one's doing anything right now. We're most of the people.
Yeah. That is something that I feel like I would more leave up to Casey, just because like I don't know, like you know, I don't want to like overshare it like on your behalf necessarily. You know, if there's people that you feel like, you know, you want to kind of reach out to, or like places in your social media network that you're like, oh, I would love for you to contribute or collaborate with. You know, it is a great opportunity to like reach out to other people and like kind of bring people into your creative circle. So like definitely, if you want to do that, like feel free to share it to whoever you want to.
Right. cool. I don't know.
So is that helpful? Casey?
Yes.
Yes. I'm like, I don't know if they know that I'm talking to them. Okay. So that's kind of, I think, where we're at with this. So, and Aisha, are you thinking you might be able to film something, or maybe?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Well, we will see.
But I'll email you further about it or any questions or concerns.
And then so on Wednesday, what's going on is I'm gonna start putting together like a rough cut of Vivian's piece, the It Shouldn't Have Been You, and then we'll kind of go through that with her and talk about editing a little more. And then depending on what happens with this one, Casey, if you are able to, well, I guess it's not a ton of time between now and Wednesday. But hey, if you send me something, I can maybe cut some stuff in.
Yeah, I'll try. Oh, man. Yep. I'm working on the whole existing thing.
Yeah. If you can.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and if you have problems with that link, that drive link, let me know. I think you have to. Well, I'll just add you to the folder, and then is this it? Yeah, I'll add you to the folder tonight on that Gmail address that I have for you, and then you should be able to just upload. But yeah, if you for any reason have any problems, let me know. You can email me, and we can always like set up a little quick Zoom, and I can walk you through stuff too, like that.
Okay, cool.
Okay, sounds good. Other than that, if there's no questions, I guess I'll see. Hopefully,
Are you showing now?
What?
You see your bump?
My bump?
Yeah, are you showing now?
I'm kind of just like my pants aren't fitting, so I'm like wearing loose clothes. But I mean, I don't know. I think I just look a little fatter now.
I can't see nothing because you got a big T-shirt. You can't tell.
Because I'm in flowy, like no pants. Like don't wear pants. But my pants don't. My pants don't fit anymore. I have like.
I guess that's what people look forward to. They don't have to put on other clothes.
Yeah. I have like 2 pairs of pants that like didn't fit me before that now fit me, kind of thing. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm glad I had like big pants. But yeah, no, nothing like. Nothing. I'm not that far along yet. No bump to write home about. Sorry, guys.
Is it? Yeah.
But I did find out it's a boy. I don't remember if I told you that.
Well, we'll see.
You said
yeah, yes. The sex is male. I know. I'm like,
Did you want a boy?
Sure. Why not? We'll see. Like, we'll see. We'll see how it all turns out in the end. I know. It's funny, because I had. Oh, and I guess I'll stop recording now. Where's my thing? Where's my thing? Oh, what am I doing? Oh wait, I gotta get my act together, you guys. I have to stop the share for a second.